science is. And again, I go back to this thing, which is you look at all of the amazing things that have happened in the last 2 years that really speak to the scientific method. So imagine this pandemic took place in the 16th century, like before we even had the scientific method. So let alone the capacity to generate drugs and all these other things. Totally different game, right? And yet, I mean, to think we have monoclonal antibodies, we have novel antivirals, we have vaccines, we've got all of this stuff done in less than 24 months. What bums me out, and I've said it before, opinion, not fact, I think that this is a Pyrrhic victory for science. I think it has, what's the expression? Like we've won the battle and lost the war from a scientific perspective, right? Which is, yeah, you know what? 800,000 people died instead of 2 million. That's an awesome victory. But it came at such an erosion of trust that the next time one of these things comes around, when you actually do need to take really draconian measures, good luck with that.
This idea of the Pyrrhic victory of science, I think, is really central here, because one thing you said about advocacy, this advocacy position, maybe it's a good advocacy position to say, no, vaccines, you're dumb if you don't take them. They're absolutely essential to ending the pandemic. The only way through is with vaccines. But even that as an advocacy position is ineffective, because how does that work? It generates psychological reactance among people who have ideological and moral reasons to be skeptical of these vaccines, whether they're politically aligned with somebody who's skeptical, whether they don't like authority telling them what to do, whether they distrust science, whatever it is. That approach to advocacy only serves to shore up people who already agree with you, and it creates reactance in others, which is the problem with mandates, which is the problem with the inflexibility of recognizing natural immunity. So even as a policy standpoint, well, all we've done is serve to do exactly what you said, Peter, which is erode our trust and ability to understand science. And then the next thing that happens is potentially a huge disaster. If we had a supercomputer to calculate all the downstream effects of what we've done during this pandemic, so let's say we saved, 1 million lives, let's say, but how many did we cost in terms of future distrust, in terms of childhood vaccines that now people are reluctant to get because they're so burned by this whole thing with the COVID, in terms of all the whatever screening for cancer we didn't do during the time that COVID was going on, substance abuse, the mental illness, the further fragilization of our children through this culture of safetyism and overprotectiveness and teaching them that, words and people who disagree with you are evil and violent and so on. So that's something that I think we really, if we don't wake up to that, then it doesn't matter how good our science is, it's not going to actually affect anything in a positive way.